lot of people, they thought their 9-to-5s would secure them for a lifetime of income, of security, but they got laid off. The reality, like, it's not safe.
A lot of people, especially, they say, oh, but I don't have the motivation to go to the gym. I don't have the motivation to start my own business. Well, guess what? Neither did fucking I, and neither did Ryan here, and we still fucking done it anyway.
Right when you get into school at a very, very young age, you're being programmed. You're being fed all this information. You're distracted your entire life.
I think the more haters you have, the better. Every time I see a hater, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm doing something right. Let's get some fucking more.
All right, what's up, guys? I'm here with my good friend John. How are you, bro?
Good, how are you, bro?
Very good, very good. We met like 6 months ago, punching each other in the face, losing a lot of brain cells, making a lot of money since then. But John, where are you from? You need to introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, so I grew up in Australia. I was there, obviously just working a 9-to-5 until age 20. And then, COVID happened and I had a sort of dynamic shift in my life, which changed my ideas from, okay, now I don't want to work a 9-to-5. I want to start a business. So I tried multiple businesses and then found e-commerce. The first month did my first 10K month. And then since then, I've done over 5 million USD in revenue in just a little over a year.
Nice one. And we already talked about this a little bit, but you didn't even go to university, right?
Nah.
Did you drop out of high school? Or?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So I went to year 11 in high school, which I'm not sure what that is in US. I think it maybe be, what's the one before college?
That's like high school?
Yeah. Oh, so it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I went to year 11, which is basically 1 year before year 12. And then year 12, you get your HSC and then you go to university. So 1 year before that, I'm like, fuck, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I was just going to class, just being a dickhead in class. You know, that motherfucker, like, this is all shit, right?
Yeah.
And then, bro, just dropped out because I knew it was fucking just a scam, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. I thought the exact same thing. And what'd you do like after you dropped out? Because obviously since then you worked a 9-to-5 and now you're where you are now, being able to travel, make what you want to make and do what you want to do. Like, do you think like dropping out of school was like that first step of you getting there?
Yeah, 100%. Because I realized that these teachers don't know fucking shit, right? And it's not necessarily their fault. It's just they don't have the knowledge where, like, if you want to learn how to make millions of dollars, you don't go to the fucking business professor
making like 45K a year.
What the fuck does he know about running a 7 to 9 figure company? He doesn't know shit, right? They just teach you whatever on the book. So it's not really their fault because they're just doing their job. It's the system's fault. That's what I believe. But yeah, 100%. I think that was the first, changing point, to getting where I am. What about you, bro?
Yeah, I just dropped out of university after, I think I went for like a year and a half, then I dropped out. But yeah, I absolutely agree. Because like the knowledge that you get from these professors, these teachers, it's very limited knowledge that's given to the general population. So it's not any information you can use to actually benefit yourself, to learning the right set of skills and to learn what actions you need to take in order to create that life that you truly desire. Because like for myself, I went to college for like a business degree. So I was learning from this professor who's never even touched a business, never even made 6 figures in her life, but she was trying to teach me how to do so. That's the first actual fake guru I've ever learned from. So I mean, technically it is kind of a scam when you're going to business school, especially just because you're learning from someone who's never even done it for themselves.
Yeah, 100%. It's like how much, I'm not sure in America, but how much would you say people typically spend over the course of getting their degree?
Yeah, very good question. So yeah, I mean, with America, it really depends on like what school you go to, but I have a quick story. One of my friends, Anani, who's actually a closer now, he's making like 20, 30K a month, but he went to medical school for 8 to 9 years, accumulated over 300,000 USD in debt.
Fucking hell.
Got kicked out the last year. So he didn't even use anything like with the medical side of things. And now he's in the trenches in debt.
Yeah.
And I mean, that just kind of goes to show like how much of a scam it even is to even go to these universities to learn from people who won't even teach you the right things in order to create that life that you want. They actually kind of just send you in the wrong direction, get you in debt, don't even teach you the right skills, and you're not even guaranteed a job.
100%. And now your friend, like, even let's say he went through with his degree, right? Probably for the first 3 to 5 years, he'd be making maximum 100K, but that's before taxes, before expenses. So realistically, you're probably looking at maybe 40K profit if you're lucky, right? So yeah, it's fucking crazy, bro. Do you know the origin of why school and university was created?
No.
So they created school to get people to work for the factories, right? Because obviously, in the 1900s, factories were huge, right? That was pretty much the only job that you could get outside of, the small corner shops or stuff like that. There wasn't really small businesses, and there wasn't the opportunity as much to create your own business. So they created school. You go to school, go to university, learn something that's going to help you get into those factories. And that's how it was created. And then obviously they've how do you say? They've
kind of adapted it.
Yeah, adapted that into making it for, mainstream jobs like teachers, being professors, learning how to be a nurse, a doctor, veterinarian, all those different, 9-to-5 jobs.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's still the same system. It's just different. That's it.
100%. And we still need these doctors, these teachers, all these different things, but it won't teach you how to get rich.
Exactly, yeah. We still need those motherfuckers filling up the gas for our Lambos at the gas station, right? We still need someone to flip our patties whenever we want a cheat meal. So, they're necessary, but do you want that path?
Yeah.
It's up to you, right? And I think it's subjective to the individual. Because I think deep down, everyone wants what we have. Like, even though we're not where we want to be, we're still blessed, right? You can't disregard that. But the difference is from us to them is we actually decided to take action on that and take a risk. Whereas most people are like, oh yeah, I've got a job, I'm comfortable, I'm loving life, blah, blah, blah. And then they just, every night they go to bed fucking miserable, dreaming of the life they could have if they chose to take action.
Yeah. And they always get a little taste 2 times a year when they get those vacations.
Yeah,
they get the taste of life that we have right now because we did take that risk. We did take the action. We learned the right set of skill sets that we needed to create this life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you dropped out, like, how did you even learn the skills that you have now? Like, what's the best way for someone if they're in university right now or they're working in 9-to-5? Like, what helped you learn the right set of skills that you have now to reach that level you're at now?
Yeah. So first thing, obviously, would be getting a mentor, but that's after you've discovered what it is, what field you want to pursue, right? So that's one thing, but I think other than that, it's like the self-development. So I know you're huge on the gym as well, so am I. So I think developing yourself, going to the gym, reading different books, studying different successful people, what are their habits, what do they use to get information, and just doing all that every day, making daily habits and building habits, because at the end of the day, you can have all the money in the world and still be broke because you don't have habits, you don't have proper morals and values, right? So that'll be my main thing to them, is just building your habits.
Yeah. And with university and just school in general, it just kind of teaches you that like risk, they're not good. They don't even teach you anything about like how to save, how to invest, how to actually make money. They just teach you to memorize stuff. And not the right things. So I mean, when you dropped out, like what did you even do for like the 9-to-5?
Yeah, so my first job out of school wasn't it was working for like an event company, like loading all the fucking speakers and shit into the event and then preparing it for like concerts, the opera thing, I don't know what they're called, but just shit like that, sporting events. And just doing that just made me fucking hate my life, because I was going there and all these people would talk about the same shit every time. Like, oh yeah, bro, you seen the footy? Oh yeah, I was going out with my mates, got with this chick, blah, blah, blah. Ha, ha, ha. Like fucking just retarded shit, bro. Yeah. No one's talking about how to level up, how to get out of this fucking shit, right? So the weird thing is I never stayed at a job for more than 3 months. Actually, only one job, but I hated every single day of it. So yeah, went from that, and then I was at Tyler for 6 months. Bro, that is like, there's some bad jobs, probably worse than that. But at Tyler, every day you're fucking, especially for me, I was like the apprentice. So like carrying the concrete bags. If I wasn't on the job site, I'd be cutting the fucking tiles, like 2,000 tiles a day, just nonstop fucking, and that machine, bro, is so fucking loud. I'll never forget it. But yeah, bro, just in the fucking trenches. And just learn from that. You can't get complacent, number one. Number two, you just have to be grateful for everything. Yeah. What What about you? What did you do after dropping out?
Yeah, after dropping out, like the main goal was to get rich as possible, as fast as possible. And the only thing I knew at the time was like day trading. Like that was the only like niche I wanted to focus on.
Yeah.
So I was like working at Racetrack, which is like this gas station. I was working 2 jobs. And then the second one was Red Lobster. So I had to like work from like 4 a.m. until like 10 p.m. at night, just grinding away and putting everything into Robinhood, throwing money into stocks. And obviously it didn't go well.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't have the right knowledge, the right skill sets, because the only skills and knowledge I did have was acquired from a fake guru in college. So I was just throwing shit at a wall, hoping something sticked, but it never did. But yeah, with the 9-to-5s, it was a good lesson to me to realize like this wasn't what I wanted to do. And that's what led me to learn like what remote sales is, acquiring the right skills, investing in myself, learning from someone who's ahead of me. That got me to book my one-way flight out here to Bangkok and going broke, going through all that stuff, and now coming to where I am today.
Fuck yeah, bro. It's a inspirational story.
Yeah.
Going the typical one-way trip to Thailand, fucking throwing everything at it and just going all in. I mean, it paid off. So good fucking shit, bro.
Yeah, man.
But I think a lot of people wouldn't do that. They'd just be scared, like, oh, what if it doesn't go right? But I'm sure you knew as well, like, if all goes bad, you can just go back to living with your parents, working the same shitty jobs.
Yeah, you have like nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Exactly right, yeah. But yeah, what do you think is the main thing that stops people from taking that leap?
I think it's really just not knowing exactly what you want, because we can both agree, like most people these days, they're distracted by reels, TikToks, just hanging out, smoking weed, going to parties. They never really get to sit with themselves and decide for themselves what they want their lives to really look like. They never get that clear picture. It's always fuzzy. It's always in the back of their minds.
Yeah.
So they never get that chance to be like, okay, I really want to get to this point in my life. And they never get to see that. They're just always distracted, always just doing other things. And they never really get to even take that risk because they never get to know what they really want. Yeah.
So how would you, like for you, for example, how did you find out what it is you really want?
Very interesting question. So yeah, right after I dropped out, it's a bit controversial, but I just took 4 grams of shrooms in my room with a notebook, with a pen, with my dog.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking to myself, like, if I had all the money in the world, all the time in the world, what would I do day in and day out? Like, what would that life look like? And while I was tripping balls in my room, the room was like turning into wires green. It was like the Matrix. I was like writing down what I wanted my life to look like. I was closing my eyes, envisioning the life that I have right now.
Yeah.
So I was able to see that clear picture of the desired reality that I wanted for myself. And after that trip, I think it was definitely the most controversial shroom trip, just because I was able to actually get a clear picture in my mind what I really wanted. So from that day on, that's why I started working 2 9-to-5s to actually start moving the needle forward to where I wanted to go.
So there you go, people. Just fucking take 4 grams of shrooms, get a notepad.
Yeah.
There you go.
I wouldn't recommend taking the shrooms unless you're ballsy, but just, sit down with yourself for 30 minutes to an hour. Write down exactly what you would do day in and day out if you had all the money and the time in the world, and then just reverse engineer that process of getting there. So what risks do you need to take? What vehicle do you need to find, whether it be e-commerce or remote sales? And where do you need to go in order to create that life?
Yeah, 100%. I think doing that is 100% the right thing to do. I even still do that now. I just spend like 20 to 30 minutes, just no distractions, me and my fucking notepad. And then you'll find doing that, you're able to outthink your competitors. So think of different ideas that have a higher ROI as opposed to just doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And obviously some of those ideas may work, some may not, but you don't know if you never try.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the thing with school as well. Like ever since you're put into kindergarten, or like right when you get into school at a very, very young age, you're being programmed, you're being fed all this information. You're distracted your entire life. Like you never really get to sit with yourself and realize, who are you? What do you want? Why are you here on this earth? Like you're always just going, information overload from TikTok, school, and you never really get to sit with yourself. That's like one of the main problems why people never really get to where they want to go. Is because they're distracted their entire lives.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I think, 90% of the problems in the world will be solved if people just sat by themselves and just thought, okay, what am I doing that's right? What am I doing that's wrong? How am I going to keep doing the things that are right and remove the things that are wrong? And I think as well, a lot of what stops people from getting there is removing things that they're doing that are wrong. For instance, going to McDonald's and getting a fucking Big Mac, right? It sounds like, oh, it's nothing, right? But at the end of the day, you're making a conscious decision to put poison in your body. And then from that poison, it turns into output because the food that you consume is what your body uses to make your cells. And obviously the output from McDonald's is not what's needed to run an empire. It's what is needed to keep you broke and distracted. So, yeah.
Fog maxing.
Yeah, bro. It's literally, you know, just McDonald's, Netflix, go home, fucking scroll on TikTok a bit more. Maybe fucking jack off too. Jack some homeless guys off under a bridge.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly how I was in university. Like eating McDonald's, smoking weed, scrolling on TikTok, surrounding myself with the wrong people.
Yeah.
Like that's just the formula for failure, literally. So I mean, to get out of that, like you literally just have to like surround yourself with the people that are levels above you. Surround yourself with people who are going to the gym, doing the right actions, which in turn will lead you to doing the right actions for yourself. Like when you were in like high school or maybe even the 9 to 5, like you were saying earlier, like you were surrounded with people who were like just joking around. They were never talking about money. They were just talking about the wrong things. So like how important would you say it is to surround yourself with the right people who are levels above you so that we can ultimately level up yourself?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's cliche, but it is a universal law for a reason. You know, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And once I realized that, I looked at my friends who I was hanging out with at the time and I said, what are their habits? How much money are they making? Are they doing the things that I really want to do? And the answer was no. So I know it might be hard. I don't know if you've done this, but I personally have. I literally don't talk to anyone who I grew up with.
Yeah, same.
So I just cut them all off. At the time, it was like, fuck, you know, whatever. I don't have anyone to hang around with now. But I think going through that, you build a hardship, number one, which is crucial as a man. And then number two, you make friends along the way, right? You meet people like, for instance, yourself, right? Like we met because both making money in fucking Thailand, living the dream life, you know. So you just cross path with people who are on a similar path to yours, and then you build a network of people who are on the same path, and that's how you're going to amplify your own path and also amplify theirs. But if you just stay in that same circle where your standards are very low, you know, you go to the gym maybe once a week and then you're partying every weekend, you're just going to succumb to the standards of that circle. And my standard is nothing but fucking excellence. I demand that from my business partners, people I work with, and every single motherfucker in my circle. If you're not striving every day to be the best, I don't care. I don't want to fucking know you.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, that's exactly true. Because like in college, I was surrounded by people, you know, smoking weed, partying, doing all the wrong inputs. So that led me to doing all the wrong inputs myself.
Yeah.
But then coming out here to Bangkok, it is a very lonely journey, especially when you branch out from your original network. That's when you get to learn who you are, what you stand for, what inputs will you do when no one's watching you, when it's just you by yourself. It is a very lonely path to go from that old network to that new network. But once you start striving and moving the needle forward to creating the life that you truly desire, that's when you'll find the people who resonate truly with who you truly are.
Yeah.
And that's when you'll find yourself with people like, that's how we met. That's how I met all the other friends I have right now. And the thing is, like, you connect a lot easier and a lot quicker and a lot deeper with these new people that you meet just because you guys are on the same path.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, it's, you know, it goes back to the risk. Like, it's a hard risk to take and it's a hard pill to swallow. But if you don't take it, you'll never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's honestly crucial, bro. And, you know, the highest frequency, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but it's authenticity. So when you're in that 9 to 5, you're at a low frequency because you're not being true to yourself.
Yeah.
No, I don't care what anyone says, right? No one can tell me they like their fucking 9 to 5 and they're honestly, truly content with it. If they do, they're full of shit, right? So they're not living at the highest true form of themselves. Whereas, you know, you take that action, you build the habit, you design who you want to be, and then you just go all in.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the thing when you're branching out and starting to create the life that you want, the thing with like the old network that you're in, most of the time, from what I've seen, maybe you've seen this as well. A lot of those old friends that you may have had, they see that you've taken the risk. You're trying to create the life that you want. And they start feeling a little bit jealous, a little bit envious because you actually took that risk.
Yeah.
So from what I've seen, I don't know if you've seen this as well. A lot of people are messaging me like, you're going to fail. You're doing scams, all this type of stuff. And they're trying to bring you back down to their frequency.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you just need to cut them off. It's going to be hard just because you thought they're going to be there your entire life. You thought that they would be by your side.
Yeah.
But that's just not the reality. So sometimes it's unfortunate, but you do have to cut a lot of people off, shed the fat, so that we can find the people who truly align with who you really are, and surround yourself with greatness and cut off the fat.
Yeah, 100% agree, bro. And yeah, I find they do that, like they tell you those things, but it's just because they're trying to cope with the shitty existence that they have.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, the more I think the more haters you have, the better. Like every time I see a hater, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
Let's get some fucking more.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think it's like that comedian, I forget his name. He's like this darker guy. He's got like this weird hairstyle. I don't know if you've seen him, but he's like, yeah, you got 5 haters. By the end of the month, you better have fucking 15, bro.
Yeah, it's an indicator you're in the right direction.
100%.
Yeah.
So, because at the end of the day, hate never comes from above. It's always from below. No motherfucker making billions of dollars is going to be hating on the millionaires. And, you know, I think most millionaires are not going to hate on the billionaires either. But the people who are broke, they're going to hate on everyone that's above them just because they hate their own existence. That's it.
And yeah, they always say like, you know, this life that we're living right now, it's not guaranteed. Like it could fall off any time. But the thing is, it's the exact same thing with a 9 to 5. They think like the salary, it'll like provide them
secure
income. Yeah, it's secure. It'll last them a lifetime. They'll build up their Roth IRA, whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know. But the thing is, like, we just saw this with COVID. A lot of people, they thought their 9 to 5s, their salary jobs, all these things would secure them for a lifetime of income, of security, but they got laid off. And that just was able to open their eyes to the reality. Like, it's not safe.
Yeah.
The only thing that's safe is your skills that you're able to acquire, the network that you surround yourself with, to really secure yourself. Because with sales, with e-commerce, the skills we have right now, we're guaranteed literally to never go broke again because we have these skills.
Yeah. All we need is a fucking laptop and Wi-Fi. That's it. We're set. Yeah, 100% agree. And even in a book, I'm sure, I don't know if you've read it or not, Stillness is the Key, but it talks about if everything goes wrong, you always succumb to your habits. So you always have your habits to get you through difficult times. So like, let's say you have a bad month in sales, I have a bad month in e-com. I don't stop because I know that my vision is guaranteed. It's like, you know how this shirt is black?
Yeah.
That's how certain I am of my vision. And I think you have to have that as well. But to go back to what I was saying, you know, you have to have your habits, because then when things go wrong, when it's fucking raining, whatever, you go back to your habits and you put in the work regardless.
Yeah, 100%. Like with university, with schooling, with indoctrination and the 9 to 5, you're always just relying on someone else to make you money, to survive and to sustain yourselves.
Yeah.
And when that person goes away, that the boss or the teacher, when you have nothing kind of giving you what you need in order to survive and to give you the skills that you need in order to succeed, you're absolutely screwed. So it's very crucial that you learn these tangible skills that we have now. So that way we can provide ourselves the opportunity to make an income anywhere in the world. And to just rely solely on ourselves, which is very important, because we don't have to rely on like the boss or a teacher or a parent to give us what we need to survive. We can do it ourselves.
Yeah, 100%. And for let's say you're in a 9 to 5, right? For every dollar you make you get paid, from your boss, he's making 4 to 5, if not more, off that $1, right? So you can keep making him more money, or you can say, fuck it, just go all in. And just make that extra money yourself. And then, do you have employees or no? Not yet?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, well, when you do, then you just get a machine that just fucking prints you money.
Yeah. So the roles are kind of reversed a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. You go from being an employee to being an employer. And it's big fucking difference.
Yeah. And do you guys really feel like you're worth $15 for an hour of your life? It's pretty insane.
I know I don't.
Yeah.
I know you probably don't as well.
Yeah. No.
Fuck that shit, bro.
Yeah. So do you think like an hour of your life down the drain is $15? You're trading your time away. Is your time really that worthless.
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Because like, what were you making at your 9 to 5? Was it like commission based or was it hourly?
So the delivery driver, I think the most I was making was like $1,000 a week. So like $4,000 a month Australian, which is fucking peanuts.
Yeah.
Most people watching would be like, oh, that's good money, blah, blah, blah. It's fucking not, bro. Literally. Yeah. I've done 51K USD in a day at 15% profit margin. You do the math on that. It's a bit more than fucking $4,000.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, with university as well, like it literally just sets you up for a trap because you're going away for like 4 to 5, maybe even 6 to 8 years of your life, of the most valuable years of your life. You have an abundance of energy. You have all the risk in the world you can take just because you're so young. You can always come back from any situation. They're just kind of setting you up for slavery just because you're going in so much debt. Let's just say Nani, for example, 300,000 plus in debt. So when he gets out, let's just say he did continue on into the medical field, started nursing, whatever it may have been. Then for the next 8 to 15 years, he's going to just be trying to pay off that debt. He's got to pay for housing. Maybe he meets a wife, has kids. Then he's screwed for life. So you're pretty much getting set up for failure.
100%. But they'll never portray it as that way.
Yeah.
They'll always say,
that's the safe path.
That's a safe path. That's the right way to go. You have another option, but it's more risky.
Yeah. Maybe in the 1950s, the 60s, that was the path to take just because everything was cheap. But with inflation going up, with all these different things, everything's getting more expensive. It's getting a lot harder to get out of that debt, out of that burden, to start living the life that you want.
Yeah. Like, for example, back then, the prices of housing was so much fucking cheaper. Like you could work for 5 to 10 years at a 9 to 5 and own your own house. Now you have to work for like 40 years, if not more. And you don't even own it until you pay it off. By the time you pay it off, you're in your 60s. And then you go into a nursing home and then you're just surrounded by people who took the same path. Yeah, we're having so much fun. It's fucking nursing home. And then they go on a holiday vacation. And then they have a fucking heart attack when they go on.
They're driving a Lamborghini to play bingo.
Yeah, bro. So, yeah, I honestly, I can't comprehend how people can take that path. Like, it honestly does not make fucking sense to me. But in saying that, I'm glad people do, because imagine everyone took the path that we've taken, how fierce the competition would be. It'd be crazy, bro.
Yeah. And there really is no competition, because our only competition right now is the people on TikTok. They're smoking weed.
Yeah.
And they're just doing all the wrong inputs, which leads them to the wrong output, which is their lives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now, we literally have no competition. We're competing against NPCs. People are doing all the wrong things, which is okay, because it makes it easier for us.
Yeah, you're going to make money somehow, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today. So, yeah, in the end of the day, every input has an equal and opposite output. I think it's Nikola Tesla or Albert Einstein that says that. And it's, 100% true. Like, if you go to the gym, eventually the output is going to be, you're going to get stronger, you're going to build more discipline, and you're going to be more healthy overall, which then is going to transfer over to your business, because you're going to take it more seriously. You're going to, systemize, team build, etc.
Yeah. 100%. And I mean, I even have a lot of my older university friends that I still talk to, they're good ones. And they say they want to travel, they want to get rich, but I'm looking at their inputs and, they're learning from a fake guru. They're going to parties, they're drinking, they're watching TikTok. They're getting all of these inputs, but they want the output that we have. And it just doesn't equate to that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the risk that we've taken coming out here to Thailand, focusing on the right things, learning the right skills, whether it be sales, e-commerce, surrounding yourself with the right people who are levels above us, going to the gym every day, doing all the right inputs, that equates to the life that we have now.
Yeah.
So like, what would you say is like the importance of like taking that risk and like acquiring the right inputs so that way you can get that output that you want?
Yeah. So, I mean, put it this way, right? A lot of people, especially when they're working or going to university, they say, oh, but I don't have the motivation to go to the gym. I don't have the motivation to start my own business. Well, guess what? Neither did fucking I, and neither did Ryan here, and we still fucking done it anyway, right? So it's a difference between motivation and actually having discipline, because discipline is what allows you to see through that vision that you've established in your mind. So yeah, to put it back to what you said, I would say just having a vision of what you want, you know, the cars, the lifestyle, what you do to give back, who you surround yourself with, what you're able to buy your family, brainwashing yourself. So instead of scrolling on TikTok and feeding your subconscious with, you know, chicks fucking twerking and all these new trends and bullshit, right? You got to feed yourself positive shit like affirmations or motivational stuff, and then feed yourself to the point where it becomes a reality. So what I do, and even for you, I think this be useful, right? I have 11 labs, and it has a alpha waves frequency in the background, right? And it goes through my life, my hardships as a child to get to where I am, and then, you know, how much money I make, what I do with my money, etc. And I listen to that morning and night. So then in the morning, right, when your brain is in the theta state, that's when it's most susceptible to being brainwashed, right? So anything that you hear when you're dreaming especially, but it's not good to listen to while you dream. So you do it in the morning when you wake up, and then before you go to bed, listen to it, and then you have dreams of that life. So driving a Lambo, you know, giving back to poor people, doing all the things that you want to do, you start dreaming of that life. And also in turn, from brainwashing yourself with your subconscious. And I think a big thing as well is changing your identity, right? So if you're in university or a 9-to-5, I know for me, I already knew I was a fucking billionaire when I had a 9-to-5, right? I already knew. It's just an identity shift. It's like going to the gym. When you first start, you're not jacked, you're most likely skinny, but you can already see yourself as jacked. It's just a matter of time and inputs before the 3D catches up.
Yeah. Have you like read Reality Transurfing?
Bro, everyone tells me to read it.
Yeah.
But I personally haven't. But yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
It's pretty much like what you're talking about. Like you have to create that reality first and become that person, and then reality will just kind of catch up with you. So you have to be like very, very, very self-conscious and self-aware of what programming is coming into your mind. Because like most people right now, the only programming that they're getting is like they're waking up, smoking weed, watching reels, and they're getting all of this programmed into their minds. They're going to university, getting all of that programmed into their mind. So they're never able to even see themselves the reality that they want. So like with Reality Transurfing, what I've pretty much picked up on it so far is you need to program yourself with what life you want for yourself and what action you need to take and what person you need to become in order for reality to transfer from the reality you're in right now and the reality you want to create. Exactly like you were saying, like driving the Lamborghini, you have to see it. You have to see it first, feel it, and then you can find the actions that you need to take and find the person that you need to become in order to really achieve that reality for yourself.
100%. Yeah, it's all the law of attraction at the end of the day. So, you know, it's believing it's already yours. That's the first step. And then acting as if it's already happened. Yeah.
And become that person that builds that life. Kind of like building the garden that attracts the butterflies, that exact thing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, you know, what are your thoughts of, you know, there's probably a lot of guys watching who, you know, they're stuck in university, they're chasing girls. What would be your thoughts about, you know, them as opposed, like when it comes to girls and like what they should do in that regard?
Yeah. So in terms of chasing girls, I don't think that's something you should chase, because like when you're chasing, you're kind of repelling the girls. So chase that life that you want, chase the money, chase the getting rich, chase becoming the man that you want to create for yourself, and the girls will just come. That's what I've seen firsthand. Yeah. Like right when I came out here to Bangkok and started making a few $1,000s a month as a setter, I didn't even care about girls. Like I was like, I mean, if they're there, they're there. Yeah. And that's when I found the girlfriend I have now. She just came there. Yeah. Like I didn't even try. And it just comes to like chasing your dream, chasing the reality that you want, and the girls will be chasing after you.
That's it.
What about you?
Yeah, I've seen the same thing, bro. But me, to be honest, it's like if I don't find a girl that adds value to my life, then I'm not interested in them. But I do know, they can just fucking tell, bro. It's just like a biological thing. They can sense, oh, it's a fucking apex predator. It's like when you walk into a room, you know, like I'm sure you get this too, because, you know, we're disciplined, we fight, all that stuff, right? When you walk into a room, it's just that natural instinct of guys just to look, oh, there's like a fucking killer just walked in, right? Same thing with girls, bro, they can sense that you're about what you fucking say, and you walk.
They can feel the aura.
Yeah, they can feel it, bro. So yeah, I get a lot of attention, like especially here in Thailand. If I go to like for example, I went to the chemist and then I just said, "Oh, hey, where's this?" to the chemist. She's like, "Ha ha ha! Oh, you're very handsome." And I'm like, "What?" It's like, "Oh, you smile." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." But yeah, I don't waste time with them, to be honest, because at the end of the day, right? You put it this way: imagine all that energy you're spending into building a relationship, or like if you're lusting, it's even worse. I think a relationship is fine, but she has to add value to your life. So she has to be the one, preparing your week, your diet, your plan, doing all the boring tasks you don't like. If she's not prepared to do that, then I don't think she's worth my time.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, with women as well, like they're very nurturing. They're kind of just like there is like the warmth and the feminine energy to like heal you after the battle. Because we, as men, we don't have any wars we're fighting or anything like that. Our war is the business war. So when we come back from a hard days of work, come back home, she's there to feed us, comfort us, massage us, get us back into the groove of things, and we're back to battle.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I think that's a big thing now, especially with like the feminist bullshit. Like a lot of girls are saying, "Oh yeah, I can do everything a man can does." And then you look at Russia and Ukraine, for example. There's probably 1% of women that actually stayed and fought, like respect to them. But 99% went to other countries, started doing OnlyFans, started cheating on their husbands. Why? Because they're women. That's just natural.
Yeah.
It's like when the Titanic came, for example, right? All the men stayed on the fucking boat and they allowed the women and the children to go on the lifeboats. Why? Because it's our job as a fucking man to protect and provide for women and for our families, etc. So yeah, I think that's a big problem in today's society as well. Is like the gender dynamics are changing.
Yeah.
It's amplified, especially in the US.
Yeah, because a lot of men in the US, they're becoming absolute losers, which makes it hard for the women to find, guys like us. So that way they can actually be feminine. So they're taking on more of this masculine role just because all the masculine men now are not even masculine anymore. They're not making money. They're not going after what they truly want.
Yeah.
And they're just settling for becoming that adult child that's relying on a boss, not doing what they want to do, doing all the wrong habits, and they're just losing their masculinity as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah, their masculine frame is just gone.
Yeah, down
That's
the drain.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. John.
Cheers, bro. I appreciate it.
Brother. See you on the next one.
Yeah. Peace.